Welcome back, Cheeseheads, to another episode of BAM GPG. So Bryson, 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah.
Green Bay last night defeated the Washington Commanders, or Redskins, whatever you like to call them.
Yep.
27 to 18 Thursday night football. So let's get into the game here a little bit, Bryson. We'll talk about it. So Green Bay built an early lead in the first half with two long touchdown drives of 90-plus yards right before halftime there. Jordan Love, he looked pretty efficient throughout the night. He had 292 passing yards and 2 touchdown passes, I believe. So pretty solid passer rating to go along with that. And the rushing game via Josh Jacobs, that did help set the tone, especially near the goal line. You saw that one where he trucked one of the Commanders' players going in from 3 yards out there. And then wanted to highlight one of these players here, Tucker Kraft. So Tucker Kraft had a career night for Green Bay. He was phenomenal. I think, there's a lot of talk about him, taking that next step to be that next elite tight end in the league. I think he's there already.
Yeah.
He's there.
Yeah.
So he's arrived. It is his first 100-yard receiving game in the NFL. So career night for him, 124 receiving yards, 1 touchdown catch, which was the go-ahead touchdown there late in the game. So what stood out here, Bryson? The defense and the pressure from the Packers front line there really stood out. They had several sacks. They were pressuring Jaden Daniels all night, forcing him out of the pocket. And I can't say enough good things about Micah Parsons, right? Yeah. So Parsons, I believe he had half a sack on the game there, but the pressure he is creating coming from the end there, it's really forcing that. You saw it in week 1 with Goff. You saw it in week 2 with Jaden Daniels. It's really forcing that quarterback to get the ball out of his hands earlier than what he would like. And that's where you see these cornerbacks really starting to kind of shine. You saw it in Keyshawn Nixon last night. I believe he had 5 pass breakups last night in the game. So, Corey Valentine, want to give him a shout out too. I thought he had a fantastic game as well. But Keyshawn Nixon was a story of that secondary for sure. Oh. And then Jaden Reed, he went down early in the game there with thought to be a shoulder injury. Turns out he did break his collarbone. So I'm thinking we probably won't see Reed on the field again. I believe they said it's like 6 to 8 weeks recovery with that type of injury. And we're used to it with Rodgers as well. We've seen it. I believe Rodgers actually broke his a couple different times. So I'm expecting probably mid to late November when we see Reed back. So what's that mean for Green Bay's receiving core? With Christian Watson already out, we won't see him till week 6 or later. I still feel pretty confident.
Yeah. We got Xavier Williams, we got Matthew Golden, and we got Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel great. It is a lot younger now when Bryson mentioned Savion Williams, Matthew Golden, but I think you're going to see a lot more Wicks in the offense as well. And again, Mr. Consistent, Romeo Dobbs, he had another touchdown catch on the night as well. But I think you're going to see a lot more of these young wide receivers. I think it's time to start involving Golden a little bit more than what you are. I know he missed a couple targets. One pass was overthrown and one pass was underthrown. Otherwise, he was set for a big night, Matthew Golden. So I expect big things moving forward with Matthew Golden. But boy, isn't it fun with Savion Williams? I know we've seen him in the kick and punt return game, but they ran that funky wildcat formation where they moved Loved out to the left there, and Savion came under center and took the snap. And I thought he was going to break it for a lot more on that play. He kind of tripped up. I think it was one of the Packers linemen downfield there, but I think Savion Williams is going to be a real fun player to watch once they kind of find where he fits in the offense there. He's really kind of that multi-tool that you can play with there. So excited to see that. We're going to miss Reed. Don't get me wrong with that. Reed he's a fantastic wide receiver. I can't wait till he comes back towards the end of November, most likely. So Bryson, we were talking about the defense of the Green Bay Packers, right? So that defense, I can't remember a time, maybe the 2010 season when we won the Super Bowl, that Green Bay in recent years has had a defense that dominant, right? So, and really, it starts on that defensive front. You got Micah Parsons. I think when I was looking through the PFF grades, I think Micah Parsons did grade out the highest on the Packers defense, followed by Keyshawn Nixon. But just that pressure you're getting from him, it's a game changer for this Green Bay's defense. It's allowing guys like Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness to play a lot better. Van Ness didn't have a great game as far as the pass rush, but his run defensive grade was fantastic for this grade. And
it was absolutely
kudos to Devontae Wyatt, right? He's kind of stepped into that starting role now that Kenny Clark's out, and he's been nothing but fantastic for Green Bay. I think he had another sack last night. I know there were at least a couple passes when we were there watching the game, Bryson, where he got his hand up and blocked at least two of the passes down. There was a third that he just missed. But Devontae Wyatt, I expect big things out of him this year. He's really stepping up. I'm excited for him. So we'll see. But again, I think this all started with you kind of set the tone when you got Micah Parsons, and he's really setting the tone on the field with that defensive front, and they're continuing to eat. So the one thing, or a couple things I'd like to see, there's a lot of positives to take out of the first 2 weeks for the Green Bay Packers. A couple things I'd like to improve on, and I know our offensive line is, a little banged up right now. We started rookie Anthony Belton. You had Jordan Morgan starting at guard as well. Morgan did not have he did okay in the passing game, had a terrible run blocking
he did.
Graded out terrible in run blocking for this game. Really, the Packers offensive line didn't do a great job at run blocking. Josh Jacobs really, whatever yards he did get, he really earned those yards. Yeah. So I'd like to see Green Bay's, they got to get a little bit healthier, but I'd like to see them improve a little bit on their run blocking. Their pass blocking, I think, is fantastic. I think the pass blocking is where it needs to be. Can it improve? Yeah, sure it can. But the run blocking, I'd like to see that improve a little bit. Yeah. And then their end of the game management, right? So this doesn't necessarily fall onto the players, but as much as it does the coaching, I would like to see a little bit better of end of the game management to not allow these teams to kind of creep back into the game a little bit. I know a couple of those drives towards late in the game yesterday, we saw Love still chucking it down the field there, and a lot of that is because of what play was called during those situations. But you would like to see him eat up more of that clock, keep the defense off the field, keep them, fresh, right? So the end of the game management, I'd like to see that improve a little bit, something they need to work on moving forward. Again, there's not a lot of bad to take away from this Packers start, awful lot of good. Super excited about it, Bryce. And we do have 10 days off before our next game in Cleveland against the Browns. So
that should be an easy game too.
It should, but no game in the NFL is really easy, right? Any given Sunday, so they got to come ready to play. You'd like to see, us come out of a game without an injury. You'd like to see some of our offensive line get a little bit healthier. I do like it. I would probably start Belton again this game. Just to kind of, those guys out on the offensive line, you want to you don't want to rush them back, right? Yeah. And Cleveland's not a team that you have to rush them back for. Plus, it gives them a little bit more in-game experience as well. And Belton, I thought he did much better than he did in the preseason. I believe he had maybe one. I think it was just one. Maybe it was two holding calls on him. But his pass blocking grade was pretty good. Run blocking needs some work, right? And that's across the offensive line, as we discussed. But super excited about this Packers team. We're 2-0.
Yeah.
We're looking great, right? I truly think this defense is elite. I think this offense is very complimentary of the defense. And if they can get that into the game management rolling, they get that run blocking game going, this team could be elite. They're absolutely Super Bowl contenders this year. I feel a lot more confident about this team this year than I did the previous 2 or 3 seasons. That's for sure. So there you have it, guys. Happy Victory Friday. Your Green Bay Packers are 2-0 to start the season. Defense looks great. Offense is coming along just fine. And we're excited. We'll be into week 3. We'll start to break down that game a little bit more for you as we get into the week here. But, Bryson, we're 2-0. heading into week 3. And as always,
It's Go Pack Go.